Beats
Say
Saber is best.
Beat Saber, a fan favorite since the beginning of time. It's not even a game, it's a universe. But if it were a game, it would be a game about speed and precision. Alright, first off, I'm sorry about the clickbaity title. I don't really think of myself as the best Beat Saber player, and in the traditional sense of how the game is played, I even know I'll never be. I'm neither fast nor precise. I've had people over at my place even trying the game for a few times and quickly becoming better at it than I was. So I know I don't even have the talent. But then, what glory is there for people like me? I have tried to get glory. For instance, last year I was trying for a while to get myself on the leaderboards, but even though I was twice and only on level normal, I've been since surpassed again. It would take a continuous effort outside of my capabilities to keep up with that. Also, that type of training, repeating the same song over and over again, trying to hit every last cue at the highest speed with invisible blocks, sucked all the fun out of it. I still don't really like to play the songs I was training on even now, even though they were some of my favorites at the time. That's why I decided to start playing to my talents. Instead of playing the game in the traditional sense, I decided to put the focus on strength and endurance. And that's what the record I'm going to set is about. I will play expert level songs for as long as I humanly can, while wearing a 2 kilo weight on each wrist. Welcome to my channel. Originally, I wanted to call it something like Broken Body Workout or Becoming the Beat Saber Champion. But those initialisms are taken. So it became Vigilante Restoration Training. The goal of this channel is to show people how to continue training and even growing towards relatively great achievements, even with bodies that have taken some damage. And most importantly, to have fun while doing it. My channel will be dedicated to helping people who struggle physically, motivationally, and at times financially, to finding drive and joy in working out. I mention financially because I'm well aware not everyone can afford these toys. But I will make some videos showing that many of what I will cover will be transferable to other types of exercise. And about me, I myself have stupidly been far too reckless in my past, and I'm now paying the price. I have done irreversible damage to my body in the most stupid ways. And as a result, I now have to keep on training to keep my muscles strong and flexible, because if I don't, I'll have debilitating back pains. But I also need to take great care what type of workouts I do, because my wrists, ankles and knees have been hurt far too often and will act up if I'm not careful. So for my training, I would go to the gym quite often to do these exercises that were so boring to me. Running was something I could enjoy before, but after hurting my feet in a skydiving accident, running outside on the pavement became too painful, and I had to switch to running on a treadmill. making it boring as well. And that's why discovering VR was a game changer for me. When I use the catwalk here from the firm Cat VR, I can really use it for hours without pain. If the game allows for a low intensity workout, think Skyrim, Asgard's Wrath. Or following the storyline of Resident Evil 4. Or I can do shorter, high-intensity workouts with explosive bursts. For instance, in Resident Evil 4's Mercenaries. And it doesn't even feel like a workout because of the focus on the game and the high adrenaline. Pushing my heartbeat to the maximum without even noticing it. And Beat Saber, or sword fighting games, or games about hand-to-hand combat in general, gave me the low impact training that my wrists needed to build up strength again without straining them too much. Much comparable to wax on, wax off, but a bit more mentally stimulating. Over time, I noticed how much more these games were than just escapism. And that's what this channel will be about. And why the name Vigilante Restoration? Well, because of my own physical condition, I have really started to love those scenes in superhero stories where the hero, after being beaten down and gravely hurt, has to restart training from scratch. Of course, in those movies it usually only takes a few days, a few weeks tops, but still, I wanted to embody that into the name. To have been humbled, shattered, having to deal with new pain and having to work around new physical limitations, and still keep on fighting, even if we're here just talking about playing games. Alright, talking about playing games, what about that record? The idea came to me about a year ago. I've had Beat Saber for about 2 years at that time. I only played for about 100 hours or so. And one time I decided to simply play until my controllers would run out of battery, thinking it would be about 3 hours or something. But including some small breaks, it was about 5 hours. And that's when the idea to do a Beat Saber marathon was born. Upon doing some research, I found to my surprise no one had actually recorded anything like this before. So I didn't really have much to go on, and I took it upon myself to create some rules and guidelines. These are rather arbitrary. I might even change some of them at the moment, if otherwise it means I'd have to give up before I'm ready to give up. The first 3 rules, however, are set in stone. I will only play expert level songs, I will play a different song each time, and always at normal speed. Many of you who know Beat Saber will realize that even within the expert category, there is an immense variation. I will, for instance, play songs with on average 3 cubes per second and some songs with on average 6 per second, which of course is a huge difference. The reason, however, for me staying in the expert category and not switching between levels as long as the songs have a certain amount of cubes per second is that so no one can try to break this record by playing normal level songs or lower level songs at a higher speed, which I think would be easier, or by repeating a few songs over and over again, although to me that sounds like torture. And then there's some other guidelines that I will just try to follow. Every hour I can take a break for 10 minutes, and these 10 minutes do not necessarily have to be consecutive. I don't consider this rule very important. Should someone try to break my record with less or more breaks during their try, that would be perfectly fine by me. I will aim to score above 70% every time, but I already know there will be songs where I just have to be happy to stay in the A category, which ranges from 65 to 79.9. Of course, I will try my best not to fail any song, but failing one song here and there will make a little difference. I will play no fail mode, so I can continue after a critical series of mistakes. Some songs have insanely hard parts, but are manageable for the rest. If I'm getting tired, I might start these sections of the song off with the wrong movement, and that one mistake could cost me the entire song. And to be honest, if failing a few times here and there would be a problem for me, I'd just remove those songs from my list. But I like them and I want to challenge myself. Because who knows? Some people perform worse on the day of a test, some perform better. So let's see what it will be in my case. Also, sometimes I will fail a song, but still have 70% at the end. At that moment, 70 is just transformed from A into C. But to be fair, if after a few hours I score beneath category A 3 times in a row, or I fail 3 times in a row, that might mean it's time for me to stop. At the end of the ride, on average, I will aim to have 7,000 cut cubes per hour, so not counting misses or wrong cuts. Though the first hour I will choose songs with a lower density for warm-up and make up for that later. This shouldn't be a problem because marathon runners are not judged on how fast they ran the first part of the marathon. It's the end result alone that matters. But anyway, I might be completely off with that estimation, and it doesn't even really matter at this point. It does matter, however, for anyone challenging my record. The 3 main aspects to consider then are the total time that I played, the average score that I had, and the amount of proper cut cubes on average. If you have a feeling that I'm not being very strict with my rules, that's because my attempt is only at an unofficial record. My main goal is to get people excited about fitness and hopefully to show people that even with some limitations, they can still move their personal limits. However, should any one of you want to volunteer to act as a third party, to weigh my wristbands, to see if the event isn't pre-recorded, or to check if I'm not switching with a secret twin brother every hour, be my guest. The event will be held in Brussels in the first half of May. I am currently not being sponsored, and I have no idea if this channel or my little stunt will even attract a lot of viewers. If I mention or show a technology like the Cat VR or a game, then it's because I am a fanatic and I'm genuinely excited about these things, even with all the shortcomings they have that I will certainly address in coming videos. I consider talking for free an investment. The more popular VR becomes, the faster the technology will improve and the more games will be developed. And that's a win for me. And I just want to have the leverage to convince Beat Saber to finally adapt my favorite song. Honestly, I'm amazed about the fact that no one has recorded anything like this before. And I'm sure that some people 20 years younger than me will surpass me in no time. Because, let's be honest, I haven't really trained that hard yet.
まあ大きな大会だからな。優勝で日給300万。言っとくけど替え玉出場なんてできないからな。あれ聞いてる？
But if you surpass me, know that I have not yet reached my ceiling. So
頑張れよ。
And until then, I will shamelessly call myself the best Beat Saberer in the world. And finally, read the warning in the description. And with that, I wish you a very pleasant day.